Sold out crowd in the house at Kudos Bank Arena for the Sydney Kings and the Cairns Taipans. Both teams have been in sparkling early season form. Both teams like to score the ball freely as well. So that means we'll get involved with the NBL points bingo. What we need here, any three of these five players to score 20 or more points and we get the cash. We know Jalen Adams, he can get to the bucket, he can shoot the three. Alex Tui the same, Xavier Cooks has won an MVP. And the big fella from the Cairns Taipans, Edwards, he's been doing his thing early in the season as well. Enjoy the game.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Jalen Adams is here to let you know NBL25 is his show.
The MVP from the foul line delivers the blow. Xavier Cooks down the lane. The pass is terrific. The dunk even better.
Antonio feeling really good about himself from the logo. Antonio gives it back to Gak, and then Wardenberg makes up for it with a massive rejection.
This guy right here is the new face of the franchise for the Cairns Taipans, Rob Edwards. He's a genuine bucket.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Hoops. We are in Sydney where the Kings are playing host to the Cairns Taipans. The Kings are coming off a tough loss to the 36ers on Friday night, while the Taipans then won 3 on the trot before going down to the Wildcats in a close one. Plenty to look forward to today as both teams try to get themselves back on the winners list. I'm Jo Healy, joined by former Kings captain Brad Rosen and former NBL MVP Derek Rucker as we have a look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder there. Now, gents, before we get further into this game, we must talk about the drama that's happening off the court. It was just announced this morning that South East Melbourne have parted ways with their head coach, Mike Kelly. They've struggled to start the season. They're 0-5. Brad, what was your initial reaction?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Look, I don't think it's a shock of what happened when the situation arose. Unfortunately, Mike Kelly, the nicest guy in the league, no question, but results are needed, and that's as simple as that. With an 0-5 start, South East Melbourne pulled the pin.
And yeah, Mike Kelly's been a long-time servant of the NBL, but in the cutthroat business of the National Basketball League, wins and losses dictate your destiny. Southeast Melbourne were forced to make a change after 0-5, and now we've got interim coach Sam McKinnon who will take the reins.
Well, let's look to the game this afternoon, guys. The Sydney Kings, we know their roster is stacked, but it's their rotation and depth that seems to be working against them. Brian Goorjian used 12 players against Adelaide the other night. Brad, what do you think needs to happen?
Look, I think he's really disappointed with the up and down energy that these teams are bringing. Some quarters are good and some quarters are bad. The other night, they just did not play with enough energy to get the win. Tonight, they will be looking to play with that energy, and that man there, he'll be saying to them, bring a cricket bat, it's a big crowd, we're ready for Sydney, let's bring it home.
And in late news, the Kings will be without their star point guard, Jalen Adams, and now, Brad, that's one less piece of the rotation that Brian Goorjian has to concern himself with. So I look to see a much tighter Sydney Kings team today, and they need to be, because 3-2 has been slightly disappointing.
But what about the Cairns Taipans? No Taron Armstrong or Tanner Groves again today, but they do have Rob Edwards, who has been leading from the front for them.
Big fan, he is playing so well, and they're going to need a big one for him tonight, no question. His muscle, his energy, everything that he brings, and he's got a bit of grunt in him, and I love it. He's going to need that 22 points a game, if not more, for them to have a chance tonight. But boy, I love watching him play.
Well, without Taron Armstrong, a lot of the offensive burden will go over to him, but he must play with patience. He can't force it. He's highly talented, so it's well within his talent and his ability to have an impact today in this game, but he's going to need punch from his other backcourt mates.
Almost time for the tip. Carl Adam, he is one of the Taipans leaders, and he is mic'd up today for our Harvey Norman in the zone. Take a listen.
That was a dime. Footwork. Here we go, fellas.
Healthy?
Yeah, good. I hurt myself in the preseason, but yeah, feeling good. Getting back.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, no, it's been great. We got a good team, man. Good young group, fun group to be around. All right, man.
Yeah, Carl Adnam there, mic'd up in the warm-up. We'll hear from him throughout the game. Time now, though, to hand over to Matt Russell for the starting fives.
Thank you. Yep, changes to the starting five for both teams today. When you have a look at the Sydney Kings there, they've been forced to bring Tyler Robertson in for his first start of the season. Until now, they had been unchanged, but Jalen Adams, because of that back injury, is out of the contest. When it comes to the Cairns Taipans, plenty of change to their starting five so far this season. In today come Jonah, Antonio and AK Gack after big games on Thursday against Perth. Out of the starting lineup are Kyle Adnam and Kyron Galloway. As I say good afternoon myself to Derek Rucker and Brad Rosen. Both teams missing players tonight, but you won't catch either coach using absentees as an excuse.
Well, that's the beauty of the NBL, so much depth, and this is going to be an outstanding one.
Sunday NBL starting at Kudos Bank Arena, Sydney and Cairns trying to go 4-2 early in the new season. Cairns win the tip. Edwards looking for Wardenberg.
And right away, Brad, we see Rob Edwards takes over the primary ball handling position. That means he'll have to ignite the offense. Jonah Antonio will slide over to the two-guard position.
I like the fact that they're bringing Antonio. I thought he played really well the other night, had a number of threes, and I'd be going to him early to get him going.
Wardenberg in position. Now Edwards. Both teams trying to bounce back from defeats earlier in the rounders. It's kept in by Xavier Cooks, but as he tried to throw it into a Taipan, he actually threw it straight back to the Taipans, plural. And here's the man you spoke about, Brad, Jonah Antonio. Very effective off the bench on Thursday night. A miss from Wardenberg. Possession now for the home team. Robertson into the Kings starting lineup. No Jalen Adams. Cooks kicks it out, and Kowal can't score, but Tui can.
Well, this is somewhere the Kings can attack on that offensive glass. They're very long. You look at the way they are out there, and everyone there can crash the offensive glass. Must box out if you can, Taipans.
Bradshaw off the mark. The rebound for Xavier Cooks. Averaging 18 points per game, 8 boards. Over the illness that saw him a little quiet the other night. The finger roll finish provides our first points.
And that's one of the areas where Cooks is so valuable. You don't need to run offense. You don't need to direct the ball in his direction. And he's still able to give you good scoring and good efficiency.
So Tui and Cooks, the basket getters early. Offensive foul called on Edwards. Ball Kowal bumped out of the way. It's spotted by Michael Aylan, leading the referees today, along with Chris Reed and Alex McEwen.
Now, that's good work from Bull Kowal. A lot of times in the last few games, he would be up and into that defender, the offensive man, to try and get the ball. This time, he waited for the contact to come to him and then was able to draw the foul. Well done.
Leo Pepe looks inside for Tui. He draws the foul on Bradshaw. He'll go to the line for two, Alex Tui.
And I'd like to see the Kings continue to attack the interior of the Cairns Taipans defense. Early in the season, the Kings have been really heavy with the three ball in the first quarters. Probably shooting more three balls per game, Brad, than I'd anticipated. They're around that mid-30, and I think they even crept up into the 40 for attempts in one game.
Yeah, they did, and you're right. And there was always that old saying, if you're shooting the three-pointer half the amount of shots that you're shooting the twos, that's just not what you want to do. So making sure that they get more than that.
Tui makes the front end, misses the back end. That basket is waved away. Back to your three-point shot numbers, Derek. Yeah, they're averaging 37 three-point attempts per game, most in the league, hitting them at 31%, which places them 8th for made threes.
You know that cutoff mark, if you're dipping below 33% from the three, you need to evaluate your shot selection. At 31%, that just tells you, Matty, they're shooting too many of them.
Edwards thought about it. Jonah Antonio, we know the three ball is in his arsenal, but they get close to the rack and then they're forced out of it. Good defense from the Kings. Alex Tui on the move. Using the left hand off the glass, and that gets the crowd going early.
And Tui has been outstanding early in the season right there. He shows you what he can do in the open court. The Kings do a good job of scrapping. Tui blocks his shot on that end. Looks him off and takes him to Europe, finishes with the left foul on Gak. Kings off to a flyer.
And this is what I love with his experience. He's gone away overseas in the off-season, gone to America, trying to improve his game, and he has. 7 of 8 from the free throw line this year. Of course, I put the mocker on him, so that's 7 of 9. But in the open floor, he's looking fabulous.
They keep the ball. Here he is again, the 20-year-old out of Canberra in his second season as a King. Alex Tui, averaging 10 points per game at nearly 50%. Xavier Cooks, the 3-ball drops, and the Kings have 10 on the board. Cairns are scoreless, and Adam Ford says, we need to chat. The Tangerine timeout called by the Cairns coach. What a beginning by the home team as we have a look at the AMI replay, Brad.
Well, this is the thing that we expected, and we said at the tip, Sydney were going to come out. The way they played on the weekend, or the other night, that was not what Goorjian wanted, and we knew they were going to come out really tough. Cooks knocks down the 3, and that's something he's improved on. But now they have to continue to do this, and this is one of the things, Derek, with the Kings. They can be up, and then they can be down. This is what they've got to try and get better at.
Well, right now, Xavier Cooks is 2 of 2 from the field. And early in the season, we've seen his propensity and a better technique on that 3-point shot.
One of the Kings that Brian Goorjian is speaking to was a former Taipan, Cam Oliver. He spoke with Joe Healy pre-game.
Cam, you made a name for yourself playing with the Taipans. People know you as the human highlight reel. What's it feel like playing against them today?
It's a little bittersweet, honestly. This is a place where I pretty much revived the love for the game. And definitely a place where I consider home, you know, so it's a little bittersweet, but it's going to be fun.
You had 16 against Adelaide the other night, really made a strong impact in that third coming off the bench. What is your focus and what's working for you out there?
I think my role is probably just bring a lot of energy. You know, I think that's the kind of the team invested into me, also with Coach Gorge. Just bring energy, bring light to the team, and just kind of just go off of that.
He's one of a host of Kings who were Taipans. We'll get to that as the game goes on. But Xavier Cooks now 4 of 7 3-pointers for the season. What do you assess his need to develop the 3-point game, Derek?
Well, look, if you're willing to shoot the ball, you can work on that 3-point shot. If you're willing to really get in the gym and work on it, and you see there's a fluidity, a more consistent approach with the technique and the follow-through, and the ball's rotating properly upon release and in flight. It looks much better.
He's been judicious in the use of the 3-ball and dropping them above 50% now as a result.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. The delay here is there's a bit of blood on the court. I think it's when Bull Quoll took that charge or the play before. We're just watching it here. You just watch the arm right there, and I think that's where the blood is coming from, and some of it has gone on the floor.
Okay, well, while they clean this up, it allows us to detail the struggles that Cairns face today, because they have a terrible record in this arena. They've played here 20 times and won only twice. They're 2-18 at Kudos Bank Arena, winning here in 2022 and December 19, so lean pickings indeed. And as an adjunct to that, Brian Goorjian hasn't lost a home game to Cairns since 2001 when he was in charge of the Victoria Titans, Derek Rucker.
Well, Matty, right now in the first 3 minutes, the Taipans have no points and no rebounds.
That spells trouble. Can Jonah Antonio fix that? It had a look and jumped out. Cooks was off to the races, and the referee's whistle will bring him back.
Well, I'm keen to watch Xavier today. It was well documented that he was quite crook during the week. Played 20 minutes still and got through that on Friday night, Derry, but he was not at his best at all. He will play today, obviously, a number of minutes, but it'll be interesting to see how much petrol he has got in the tank.
He's fine here, okay? Talking to both of you. I'm talking to both of you right now. Here we go.
Good bit of banter on the baseline. Bradshaw for Wardenberg. Rob Edwards, an eye-catching arrival in the NBL. Here he is going to work, guarded by Bull Quoll. Wardenberg, shot clock expiring. The shot jumps out there, still scoreless, more than 3 minutes into this contest.
Let's go, Stevie, let's go.
Bull Quoll Catches the rim, and look how strong Leaupepe is. Under the rack, he uses the glass, and there's a flex as he heads down court.
He is an offensive rebounding beast. You've got to get that guy off the glass. He creates too many second possessions as Wardenberg runs into him, loses control. Kings on the run.
Xavier Cooks off the backboard unsuccessfully. Kelly Leaupepe, fresh from his first double-double in the NBL. 10 points, 10 rebounds against Adelaide on Friday night.
The Kings have come out really determined and physical on the defensive end, and it's got the Taipans rattled. They can't find their way into the game, and Coach Adam Ford is going to challenge this, and this is a risky one early.
Well, Sam Wardenberg looked at him straight away. He didn't even look at his assistant coaches, 40. He just knew straight away. Sam said, absolutely not off my leg, challenge it. So either Sam Wardenberg is going to be in the doghouse for a couple of months, or he will be fine. But he definitely called that from the floor.
They're desperate for a spark. They're desperate for something to provide a hint of momentum. So Cairns challenging the out of bounds here. Well, bounce onto the foot of Bunkwal, then go baseline.
Now, Matty, you know, when we do these challenges, I'm not a rule specialist, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that Sam Wardenberg traveled.
Can I just add there, Matty? Did you notice Derek did not answer the question? He never, ever goes for the coach's challenge because he's
picked up the first. He picked up the first infringement.
Yeah, I'm mystified that he got away with the travel.
But they get the ball back.
Lucky.
So in other codes, if there's a challenge and there's another infringement detected, that infringement can be the one that is ruled upon.
That was my field.
But right here, they've said off the foot of Sydney, challenge successful, so they roll the dice, the Taipans, and have a small win.
They need to get a bucket here, get the ball through hand. Oh, my.
They had a small win, but the bank is dwindling quickly. There's an Alex Tui turnover. Joe Healy courtside.
Yeah, I was listening to the Taipans just then. The message was rebounding. It's 3 offensive rebounds for the Kings, 3 scores so far. Adam Ford wants his guys boxing out and being tougher on the boards.
Edwards behind the back. He finds Stife, and Dylan Stife scores his first points of the season. What a time to score them.
Well, it was good work, good substitutions. Great move here. Oh, unfortunately, good spin baseline, but just lost it. But that's good substitutions by Adam Ford. He's just brought in 3 fresh players, and let's see if we can get a bit of rotation here. Great pass by Edwards for the knockdown 3.
Kyle Adnam out there for Cairns. Crowd of more than 10,000 predicted again at Kudos Bank Arena as Alex Tui is called for the foul. And the points will count.
And Derek, this is where I want to ask you, like, you saw it was, I think it was 10-0, 40 just looked at the bench, timeout, composed, comes in there, 5-2 now since they've been back out there. That is great coaching, gives his team the strength to know they can get back into this.
Well, really, Brad, in the overview of things, this game is significant for the Kings more than it is for the Taipans. The Taipans are 3-2. I don't think anyone projected that they would be sitting in this position. There's really no need to come out here and play with a lot of pressure on you. Now, that doesn't mean you go out and be reckless and careless. You still got to execute, but play loose.
Both teams 3-2, but you're right, Sydney with a lot more hype around them as Robertson gets to the backboard, and they lost their opening game at home to Illawarra here by 7, so they don't want to go 0-2 to start their home campaign. Adnam. Kyron Galloway finds the bottom of the net.
By now, everyone should know in the NBL, you cannot give him space. He is not a guy you sag off of.
Robertson with the N1 to come. What have you made of Tyler Robertson in his short time at Sydney, Brad?
Look, I like him. He had a very good professional college career. The bright lights don't really affect him. He's played there. The biggest problem they had, he only played 2 games prior to this because Gorsh just didn't have him in the rotation, and that's not a reflection on him at all. It's just how stacked they were. When you have a Jalen Adams out of the game, and Derek, you picked it up early in the talk prior, This gives him a chance, Gorgian, to be able to bring different guys in with that man on screen being out, and he's taking advantage of it already.
And Tyler Robertson has looked really fundamentally sound on the offensive end in the games he's played thus far. He shoots it well, he can put it on the deck as we saw there, and he's really strong in the upper body.
24-year-old after a 5-year college career at Eastern Washington and Portland. Wardenberg for Adnam. The fake to get Oliver in the air, then the left-hand scoop of sorts, and he draws the foul on the Kings' big man.
The dreaded late whistle, Brad.
Above the foul line.
Brian Gorgian and Billy Tomlinson ran to their assistant coaches. How frightening would that be, Derek? Is it a foul? And he looked at him and said, yes. So they will not challenge that one.
Kyle Adnam from Adelaide to Illawarra to Melbourne United to the Kings to Southeast Melbourne, back to the Hawks, and now the Taipans. It's a fair bit of travel, Derek.
He's persistent.
Look, I think he's been a good pickup for them. They needed that person who's a veteran in the locker room to be able to help. He has helped them in games, and I like what he's been able to bring them so far this season.
And he's mic'd up for us today. We'll hear some sounds from Kyle as the broadcast continues. Oliver for Xavier Cooks. 17-11 make it 19-11 to the home team. 4 minutes left in the opening quarter.
He's so difficult in that scenario where he's got the ball on the move. He's got so much skill. Edwards, this is another pull-up Jimmy.
Cooks up to 7 points. He finds Sean Bruce in transition. Bruce likes the look of the 3-ball, and that's why he's firing well early on.
Well, this is a key stretch of the game with the backup guards in Liafa and Bruce. They haven't been performing that well as a duo yet. Liafa.
Adnam.
But Bruce and Liafa in particular, Matty, has not been shooting the ball well from the three-point line, and that's much needed with all the other strengths the Kings have out there on the floor.
Isaiah Liafa one to struggle with the 3-ball, despite showing us some brilliance in the preseason. Should we get to that now, Derry? You were there when Isaiah Liafa lit up the blitz.
Knocked down 7 threes in one of the games and seemingly left that hot hand up at Burley.
Look, I like the signing. I know what you mean. I just think the presence that he gives them on the defensive end has been great. He's had some big games when he was playing against the Kings. He's 0-15 from the three-point line this year, which is just not him.
Hang on, did I hear you correctly? What was that?
0-15 from the three-point line, and it's just once he sees that first one go through, I can just see that him rising to the challenge
but
as well.
if you project to later in the season when the Kings are in big games, if you can't stretch the floor, if you are a liability from outside the three-point line as a small player, you become unplayable.
Well, Isaiah has hit 3 in his last 8 games against the Taipans. So one streak finishes today. Either his dry spell this season or his run of 3 balls against the Taipans. What will it be? As we look at Galloway, put it on the floor. Now Oliver gets a hand to it, but not enough to win possession. Adnam, good pass for Wardenberg, who leaves the shot short. And now Galloway, I think, will be called for the foul.
Derek, the other thing I just wanted to bring up about Liafa, and then we can move on with that chat. He's 0-15 from the three-point line, but he's 1 of 18 from the field. So in other words, he's only taken 3 shots inside. Now, we know as point guard, if it's not falling, get yourself to the hoop a little bit faster. That's where I'm just not sure if he's got that right now.
So 2.5 left in the first quarter. Both teams in the bonus. The Kings by 10. Xavier Cooks gets the right kind of roll for the Kings. 25-14. Kyron Galloway playing against his brother Jalen. I've never spent time at the one club together in the NBL. As the ball is lost and retrieved by Sydney. Now Sean Bruce, cross court. Isaiah Liafa, there it is. None of 15, make it 1 of 16. And his record against Cairns continues. Adnam back at you.
Wow, Kyle Adams having something to say to the crowd, but Liafa gets one in transition, in rhythm, Brad. Probably the ideal look for him, considering how things have been going.
Brooks finds Jalen Galloway. And they turn it over. Here's Cairns. Liafa back there in defence. And he forces the foul. Comes away with a hobble for Isaiah Liafa.
Well, he might be hobbling, but I think he traveled. Got away with that one.
Go, guys. Shots.
And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Cairns struggling from the field at just 5 of 14, but shooting it well from the 3 at 4 of 8.
Sydney scored the first 10 points of the game. A slow start indeed on the travelling Taipans. Galloway makes the back end. And it's 10 the difference as we speak.
This is where the Kings have got to be better. Now, you look at Adnam here. He just dribbles down, sort of an on-ball, steps in, shoots it. That is terrible defensive transition by the Sydney Kings, and that's the thing that the Kings have to get better at. They're only up by 10 here. It should be 15 the way this game feels.
Here's Cam Oliver for 3. Catches the iron, strong rebound, Edwards. Edwards. Off the mark, but he'll get it back. Edwards yet to score in this one.
He's really been working the mid-range game and hasn't quite found the touch yet. Nice pass from Adnam McGack.
Strong from Jalen Galloway. Taipans shooting the ball at less than 30%. The Kings above 70. There's the 10-point buffer right there. Adnam. Support both sides. He finds Galloway, and look at the swat from Cam Oliver. It really was Space Jam as he elevated to say, not on my watch.
Wow, that was a hell of a block, and he's loving it as well. Was there a better sight in the NBL than him flying high? Look at this, goes up and says, not at Kudos Bank Arena, Derek Rucker.
His 3rd block of the season, and that's a big one. I mentioned the former Taipans in this Kings team. Huat Noi, Sean Bruce, Cam Oliver, Bull Qual. Here's Oliver, tough shot, and it rims away, collected by the Taipans.
The Taipans can feel pretty good, Matty, with their position. Down 10, going into the end of this first quarter. If they get a bucket here, nail it down to 7, 8. Not too bad.
5 of 19 from the field, Cairns, and it's not going to improve on that possession. 25% shooting clip in this first quarter. Yet they're only down by 10.
10.
All right, Derek, I want to come to you. Rob Edwards just getting fouled out now. Now, you said before the game started, and we were talking with Joe Healy there, he's got to be careful to not try and overdo it. Is that where you see him right now?
He's bordering on it. It's not too bad yet, Brad, because he does have to produce, but it's bordering on doing too much. As Adnam comes down, final shot.
Time beats them. And after the first quarter, it's the Sydney Kings who flew out of the blocks to lead it 10-zip. That's the margin as they head to the first break. Kings 28, Taipans 18.
Thanks to the Kmart Game Time Selfie Cam. big screen on. We're waiting for it. Look at basketball, $8 for that basketball. Look. That is, what a price. Low price is always low. Thanks to Kmart. All right, is that an iPhone or a Samsung up there? Maybe they have technical issues with it. We'll come back to that. Still can't believe that. Keep your cameras up, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your cameras up. Yeah, load it up. It's going to come back, ladies and gentlemen. Your chance to be on the Kmart selfie cam. There it is. Oh, there's Eric. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, oh, yeah, that's it. That's the way. Scan, ladies and gentlemen. Scan and get involved.
The Sydney Kings, chasing their first home win of the season, have started the right way. They lead the Taipans by 10. And doesn't that flex from Robertson, backed up by Lau Pepe, courtside, back it up. There are a couple of influences sitting courtside here. On the far left, Lily Bowman. On the far right, Chad Hurst. Chad, international model, personal trainer from Air Locker Training. And Lily, she mixes modelling with fitness and fashion. She's an activewear brand, founded with her brother Ollie Bowman. So I encourage you, Brad Rosen, go and get a crop top and strut your way around Bondi Beach down there in some of that activewear. You'd look a peach in it. Alex Tui to open the scoring in the second quarter.
Did you see that photo of me yesterday down there? Thank you very much, Matt Russell.
Back to more relevant topic. Taipans got to pick it up on the defensive end because I don't like their chances of trying to attack this half-court Sydney Kings defense. Oh.
Big bump for Bradshaw. Adnam looks inside, finds Gack, and they find the first points of the second quarter, Joe Healy.
Yeah, that's right. I was just listening to the Kings, Brian Goorjian, just aware that Carl Adnam is a threat from deep at the moment. They said keep up on him, force him into the paint, don't give him any easy looks. Offensively, happy with the way that they're pushing the ball and the pace of this game, and their 8-point lead at the moment.
Some hustle there to win possession and keep it. They move the ball, and Bull Kowal moved it to the bottom of the net for 3.
One of the best three-point shooters in the competition. He epitomizes 3 and D in the NBL. And the Kings desperately need him to get on track from deep.
Here's Bradshaw. Now Adnam catches the front of the rim. And the rebound is caught by Kowal.
Pepe fell down. Pepe fell down in the key on the rebounding contest. We allowed it to play out for the three-point shot, but it's dangerous now.
Yeah, we just heard there he fell down, and that was what I was going to come to. That three-pointer doesn't happen until he does throw himself on the ground. The ball was just there. He flinged himself across the court, flicked the ball, and that enabled the Kings to have the 3. Great defense.
I'm on the play.
Derek, the size of Kelly Lau Pepe. I feel like I'm watching a rugby league front rower. Payne Haas, James Fisher-Harris. He has a very similar physique.
Yeah, it's hard to get leverage on him because of his build, and that helps him on the offensive rebounding scenario, and he does a good job in situations like this as he creates a shot for Oliver.
Rebound for Tui.
I'm with you both on that. The one thing I love about Kelly is he's so quick with his footwork. Now, whilst he's a big man, that's not common in big men right now. When I speak to Gorge and Billy T, they are overjoyed with what he's giving them this year, hence why he is starting.
And I like his decision-making, Matt, and the fact that he makes quick decisions, so there's no doubt, there's no hesitation with the offense.
AK Gack going to work on Oliver. The left-hand finish, it bounced off the rim, and look at that from Bull Kowal. Really strong rebound, Robertson to Oliver. And now Gack's going to be called for the foul. Back to Kelly Lau Pepe momentarily. We've had some big bodies in the league. You go back to Pat Miller last year, even as you look out there and see Rob Edwards, physically really well built, but For me, the leader still, the physicality and physique, Mika Vakona. And that was a name that jumped into my head when I first saw Kelly Leapepe.
I'll give you another one. Andrew Vlahoff.
There's another one. From an earlier generation.
Vlahoff was big in the upper body like that. Tree trunk legs, kneecaps that love to find little guards, quadriceps.
Yep, still at physio because of that. Thank you, Andrew. He was tough, wasn't he?
Very good player.
Watch Mulawatch out there in singlet 15 as Tyler Robertson puts it on the floor. Tough shot. He draws the foul and he'll go to the line for 2.
Brad, the Kings have slowed down somewhat in the past 3 to 4 minutes on the offensive end after that blazing start. They've only scored 3 points in this 2.5 minutes as we see the heavyweights of the Kings, the great Luke Longley, Chris Pongrass, now minority owner Paul Smith enjoying the game. You think there's less pressure, or Paul Smith feels less pressure now that he's no longer majority owner, Brad?
Knowing Paul Smith, he could own 1% and he'd still feel the same pressure. I saw him before the game. He's like, oh, please, I hope we get this win. I hope we get this win. But I do want to go back to Kelly Leapepe. There is a great article today in the Sydney paper where he nearly signed with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. He's a Melbourne boy and he nearly went there. But the only reason he came to Sydney, Luke Longley. Luke had a coffee with him on his way to Chicago, explained the Kings and what that was going to do to him. So he had no choice in his mind, thinking that's what I want to do as he goes to the basket.
Unsuccessfully over the top of the hole. Edwards. Bradshaw fills it up. The Taipans like that.
I was watching Bradshaw shoot the ball in warm-ups. The stroke isn't bad, Brad, and it looks a lot better than it did up during the blitz. He's going to get ample opportunity to shoot the ball. People aren't really playing him that tight. If he can knock it down, that will open up the rest of his game.
Tidy stats line already in the NBL, 10 points per game, 6 rebounds, getting about 27 minutes per contest.
Well, here's what you're talking about, Derek, with the fact that the Kings are just that little lackadaisy at the moment. You know, they had a chance, in my mind, to be 15, could have gone to 20 with the way they were humming, and then you look at this now, and they're back in this game. That's something on last night's game. Maddie and I were both at Illawarra. When they had the chance, Illawarra, to put the foot down, they did it, and did not allow Tasmania back in.
Oh, so you're saying you prefer Illawarra over Sydney right now at this stage of the season?
Welcome to Derek Rucker putting extra words in my mouth. That is untrue. But I've got to tell you what, loving the Hawkies, what they're bringing. Outstanding.
Rob Edwards for the Taipans. Stipe. He scored his first points of the season earlier this afternoon. Unsuccessful there. Now Xavier Cooks. 8.6 rebounds first quarter. He gives Leapepe a shot. Bradshaw wrestles the ball free.
Now, Leapepe's stroke looks fine, but that's a bad shot. There's too much else out there on that floor. That's goaltending. Leapepe needs to learn in that situation. Yeah, you're open, but let's get the ball through other people's hands. Let's move the defense. We're struggling right now on the offensive end. Context and timing is everything.
And just as you say that, Gorgian didn't like what he saw, takes him straight out. But you're right, he'll learn from that. There was absolutely no need to do that.
Well, we say you learn from that, but Brad, not everyone does.
Yeah, good point.
The Kings came into this game with their coach saying they lacked hardness against Adelaide on Friday night. Watch Mulawatch hard after the ball there. He says they're taking the easy option. So how does the team respond today? Well, we're 15 minutes into it. What are you two seeing?
Well, when I see that 3 go up, that's exactly what, Derek, you were just talking about before. Not necessary. Like, that is just something. I know he's hit one, but you're 1 of 16, 1 of 17 from the season. Just let this thing get from one side to the next and then look for the wide open shot. Don't accept the easiest shot or the open shot, accept the best shot.
Cam Oliver, is this the best shot? The answer is no, it misses.
Got to play through Cooks at that high post, and the last time when he caught that ball, he wasn't assertive enough.
Edwards likes that. Rob Edwards as the coach jumping courtside, his teammates out of their chairs, and Sydney calling a timeout.
Now, Edwards last week down in Melbourne was really having a lot to say to the Melbourne United bench, and now he goes after Brian Goorjian's men after knocking down that 3, and Gorge ain't playing that. He is not happy with that.
He's apparently very softly spoken, won't get boo out of him off the court, but on the court, across that white line, he's a different man, Rob Edwards. When it comes to in the zone, mic'd up today, Kyle Adnam.
Hey, that weak side, we got a box. Weak side has to box. They're being really physical with the 4 too. So you can look for some up screens, turn the corner as well. Hey, please settle in on defense. Bush, we got time, we're good. Chase. Hey Sam, if he's got the corner, got to help.
Thank you, Harvey Norman. Thank you, Kyle Adnam. Thank you, all the players who've put the mic on so far this season. You give us basketball with a little bit of difference, Brad Rosen.
Oh, I love it. We've seen this mic on most Sunday games, and I absolutely love it. But what I do love when I watch that on Kyle Adnam, that's the veteran type I'm talking about. You can just see, we'll just change here. Rob Edwards, the referee's just gone up to him and gone, mate, that's 1,000 gamer Brian Goorjian. You can talk to some people, but not the GOAT, thank you.
Your own players is fine. Not necessarily the opposition. Chris Reid, just a little running reminder. Would you have paid any attention to that during your career, Derek Rucker? I think I know.
He was the one yelling. What are you talking about?
I always was respectful, Brad.
Sit down, Brad Rosen. Take him off me. Disrespectful.
Robertson on the move is fed by Xavier Cooks. Nice assist, good finish. And the Kings, 34-28 leaders midway through the second quarter.
Great set out of oh, nice shot there by Woodenberg, but great set by the Sydney Kings out of a timeout. Get a nice, easy look at the hoop.
Important 5 minutes here. Cairns getting it back to 3. The difference, Joe.
Absolutely. Adam Ford really happy in that timeout. He said, guys, just keep chipping away. He looked at Dylan Stith as well. He said, mate, you've been outstanding. Do you need a breather? He said, absolutely not, coach.
Dylan stays out there. Leafa and Cooks. Kings by 3.
Round 3. Baseline.
You know, I just listened to Joe there. That is what makes Adam Ford such a good coach. We all talk about, we know that they don't spend what everyone else spends and the talent that they have, and a lot of people predicted them to be last this season, right? And just by him, you look at Smith and his stats, 3 points, 1 of 2 shots, but he looks the player in the eye and says, love what you're bringing us, you done. As a player, Derek, when you hear that from your coach, you'll run through a brick wall.
Well, we talk about coaching confidence and coaching belief, and certain coaches in this competition are better than others at it, and Adam Ford is right there near the top. Again, he comes in here undermanned, and they're playing a really good first half.
Sean Bruce left open. He drains the 3. And significantly undermanned. No Taron Armstrong scoring 17 points per game for the Taipans this season. No Tanner Groves. 11 points per game plus a handful of rebounds. So there's a bit missing for the Taipans. Stith, short, Laupepe. Bruce likes it, back-to-back triples from Sean Bruce. The most experienced current King delivering for the men in purple.
Look at the Amy replay. Bruce does a good job kicking that thing. They play a nice tandem guard game at the top. Bruce knocks down his second, then he comes off here feeling confident after knocking down that. That's 3 threes in this first half. Off the bench, 11 points. He's a +8, Sean Bruce, in only 5 minutes of play.
40-31 with 3.5 left.
They hit a couple of shots, they start chirping their front runners. Watch how quiet they get when we start locking it down at defense again. It's a game of swings and it's momentum runs, and they got one in their favor. Now we got to get it on our terms. We got to do it on the defensive end, okay? Stay in the shifts in home base, okay? On the offensive end, stay with Detroit, okay? I don't mind the action if we suddenly want to get our 5-man on the down screen. So let's go Detroit 2-side with AK. So whoever's hitting the corner, this is you, we get a pin down for you. You got the ball at the top, okay? We good? Come on.
It was about at this exact moment in last Sunday's game in Melbourne where Adam Ford made an outstanding defensive adjustment at a timeout that changed the fortunes of his team in that game. with 3.5 to go in this second quarter. This is a key stretch here, and let's see if it has the same impact today here in Sydney.
The Taipans winning only 22 of their 81 contests against the Kings. As we said earlier, they've won only 2 of 20 here at Kudos Bank Arena, but they have scant regard for those stats today. They've come here to win despite being undermanned. As the coach said, when beaten by Perth, doesn't matter who's missing. Our execution was disappointing. There are no excuses. They're here to win, the Taipans. Wardenberg inside for Gak. Tough bucket, and it goes.
Nice response out of the timeout. Good tough bucket against hard defensive pressure.
Cooks tried to explore baseline. Gak working defensively. It's off the Taipans. Kings ball.
Well, right now, Derek, I'd like to see Rob Edwards take control here. He's got 3 points, 1 of 6, but that 3 was the last one, so that'll make him feel better. He needs to, as he goes upstairs, and he misses Xavier.
From the inbound, Xavier Cooks very close to our highlight play of the first half. He's been productive. Xavier back in the NBL. Now Rob Edwards. Moves that shot well short. The Taipans can't keep it in. AK Gak was out of play when he made contacts. Here's how close Xavier went.
Technical foul's been called on Adam Ford here. He was not happy. He felt that he got hit on the elbow there when Rob Edwards was shooting that shot, so he let him know. And the referee's not having any of that, teched him straight away.
And Sean Bruce will go to the line to shoot this tee. Interesting turn of events. I think there may have been some contact on Edwards' shooting arm. Bruce sinks that one.
It was well short, wasn't it? Here it is.
Tough angle to see there.
It was very nearly an air ball. This angle might... Ooh. So look. Well, Adam Ford thought he saw enough contact to berate the referees. And as a result, he was served up to the tee. Now, Lea Pepe gets to the backboard.
That's a key play right there for the Kings. They get an easy one and a foul.
Brian Gorgie, game 809, his 25th season of NBL.
Wow, I thought
six-time.
I said 1,000. I thought he was way over that.
6-time NBL champion, 6-time coach of the year.
And spent 10 years overseas as well.
Yeah. Head coaching, it's a tough gig. As we've seen today in the NBL, as AK Gak on the move, shows his athleticism. Gets to the backboard and finishes.
When you've got that type of length, it doesn't take much to finish effectively, and that was outstanding off the little pocket pass. Taipans need a stop.
Lea Pepe. Over the top of Gak successfully. Nice touch from the big man.
Well, that's better. Derek, you mentioned before where he came in and just shot the 3 a little bit too quick. That's much nicer. Get yourself a little step back. Nice offense.
Sam Wardenberg draws the foul as he gets to the rack. There's a pushing foul called on Kelly Lea Pepe. Scorer at one end and committing the foul at the other.
And without Groves and Armstrong in the lineup due to their injuries, it's a nice amount of pressure that goes on to Sam Wardenberg. And if he's going to be one of the top local players in the Cairns Taipans future, and if they intend on making playoff or play-in runs, he has to be a key component in this roster. And he's the #1 big. It's moments like this where your team needs you to come in and be productive on a big stage.
In his 3rd year as a Taipan, had very sound numbers to start the round. 14 points on 5 of 8 shooting, 5 rebounds, 7 assists in that loss to the Wildcats.
He's got 10 points here, 5 rebounds. Solid, but the Taipans are going to need even more from him to win this afternoon here in Sydney.
Alex Toohey through Oliver. Now Sean Bruce. He had a lot of time, he had a lot of room, and he did a lot of damage to the Cairns Taipans. 48-37 as we close in on the final minutes of the first half. Are the Kings going to 50 or beyond in the first half? Can the Taipans cut the margin, which sits at 11? It's Xavier Cooks. Now Toohey. Cooks the spin move, and Bruce, the fake, beats Antonio, and he just keeps filling it up. Sean Bruce. What a hand for Sydney late in the first half. Adnam quickly back at them. Bradshaw gets the rebound. He makes a tough bucket.
Probably could have been an and one, but wow. How about Sean Bruce off that Sydney Kings bench? 5 of 5 from the three. He's got 18 points. Big time impact.
Big time, but how good was that from Xavier Cooks? He just waited for that clock to run down a little bit, rolled it in. Now they get the last shot. Minimal things, but very, very clever.
And here he is, the shot clock, about a second inside the game clock. Xavier Cooks times it perfectly, scores and leaves the Taipans with no time for anything but a Hail Mary. It was a good start to the half, a good finish, and as a result, it's the Kings by 14 at the big break.
And that's why you love your bench guys that come in. They can give you a burst. You see how that Kings team rallied around Sean Bruce.
Maybe being burnt as she stands beside a very hot hand. It's over to you, Joe Healy.
Yeah, I've got Sean Bruce with me. Brucey, 5 of 5 from deep. What's got you feeling so good out there?
The stops we're getting. We get stops we can run, and it's easy for me when X is getting downhill.
No JA tonight. How important is that next man up mentality for you guys?
Yeah, always. If we're going to be the deepest team, we've all got to step up, and he's over there supporting us, and we appreciate that.
Good luck for the second.
He has 18 first half points. Xavier Cooks with 10, Sam Wardenberg with 10. The only other men in double figures. After the break, Derek Rucker and Brad Rosen join Joe Healy with all the first half highlights.
Anywhere in the world, visit rwsglobal.com. Give it up, everybody. Make sure they hear you. Our new Sydney Kings dance crew.
You know what's kind of crazy? So the first day, we all arrived as a trio, as Scott Machado and DJ Newville. We clicked right away.
Machado pushes the ball. Oh, Cam Oliver! Spin move, Machado. Oh my goodness! Cam Oliver airborne, tossed it up. Cam Oliver took care of the rest.
It probably was the most memorable things for me because our chemistry was right away. And we didn't even see each other play on the court. We just talking just as people, as brothers. You know, I think that was really fun. So now actually to see it translate over to the basketball court, it was just like a match making heaven for us, honestly.
Oliver takes it, gets deep inside to the key. The windmill jam from Oliver.
I have so many memories in Cairns, man. So much people I met. I mean, even having Nate Jawai there as a veteran, having his battles and almost close fights maybe, but I mean, I literally call him a big brother to this day because I needed him in a lot of ways. He helped me really adjust to physicality, how it is out here to play in Australia. And I love him for it, man. I really have a lot of respect for him.
Showtime in the snake pit. Cam Oliver.
It's showtime. Yeah, it's showtime. We practice. I mean, I won't say we practice so much, but like I said, our chemistry was probably, it was crazy, man. Like, he was just a guy that was a pass first. He loves coming off screens. I love setting screens and being open and have multiple options. We love the empty side corner. So if it's empty side corner, it's showtime from there. So when we seen that happen, honestly, probably this is off the record, but I want to dunk on Craig Muller so bad. So bad. He's a good defender, you know. So, but I'm a good player too. So when I seen him, I didn't even know Jordy Hunter was even jumping either. So got 2 for 1.
Machado. Oh! They're gonna have to reinforce the rim.
Back in Australia is great, man. I've definitely been watching the league for a while, ever since I kind of left. So to see it grow to what it is now, it feels great. I mean, to kind of play for this team as well, it's definitely a big difference to being where I was at first, but it's fun, man. I'm glad to be back.
Well, it is halftime here at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, where the Kings have asserted their dominance over the Cairns Taipans, 14-point leaders at the half. Joe Healy, Brad Rosen and Derek Rucker with you guys. Having a look at the stats there, what do you see, Brad?
Well, you can see there's not much difference in everything below the line except for the points. Everything they've been able to do, and really it's been the Sean's been playing fantastic, and that's what's been able to do it. But right now, really, the Sydney Kings, they need to be able to step on their throat.
And we look at the Hungry Jacks highlights, and yeah, it was all about Sean Bruce. He came off that Kings bench and went bang right away. 5 of 5 from deep in the first half. And essentially, Brad, he was knocking down all types of threes, off the bounce, off the catch. He got this team going. He and Xavier Cooks carried the Kings in the first half, combining for 28 of the 53 points. Thus, why they have this comfortable lead at the break.
He can be dangerous when he's on fire, that's for sure, Sean Bruce. I spoke to him just there at halftime and talked about that next man up mentality as well. It's not just him, it's some of the other guys too.
Well, that's exactly right. You look at this, I love what they've been able to do. That Blackmore shot chart, he hasn't missed a shot. But what I think the thing is now is I think Cairns got away with something there. They could have been right in this game at halftime, but they blew it just at the end by allowing Sean Bruce. But the Sydney Kings, they should have been up by 20 as well. So I think we're in a nice piece right now. What's going to happen in the second half? Because we know teams go up and down this season, Derek.
Well, Cairns are struggling offensively without 2 guys out of their lineup, so that's going to be the challenge. But the bigger challenge for the Sydney Kings, Brad, is can they build on this big lead and blow the Taipans straight out of here? We saw Illawarra do it yesterday. We didn't see Sydney do it in Brisbane last week, so that's the challenge.
What about this man, Rob Edwards? He's been so good for the Taipans up to this point in the season, but he's only got 3 points for the half.
Yeah, I'm with what Derek was saying. I just feel like he's feeling the pressure's all on him with their personnel that they've got out, that he's got to make it happen. It's a difference between making it happen and letting it flow, and tonight I didn't feel like he's doing that, but that's the beautiful of this game. He's got the second half to try and go.
Well, still another game coming up after this one as well. It's a battle of the heavyweights. Melbourne United playing host to the Adelaide 36ers, guys. This one's going to be great.
Wow, we've got Adelaide, who are absolutely cooking right now. They've got 4 of the best guys in the competition. I can't wait to watch that one after this one.
Brad, you looking forward to that too?
Absolutely, that's going to be massive. Right now, I'm saying Adelaide. They are coming in playing outstanding basketball.
Well, there is 13 points the difference here in Sydney in this one. Can the Taipans wrestle back the lead, or will the Kings continue with their momentum? The second half is coming up next.
Okay, here we are live on the Pringles Crunch Couch, ladies and gentlemen, with the winners. This is, where's Rob? Rob should be here. Rob, what are you doing?
I'm busy, mate. I've even got the microphone in the Pringles. That's how smart I am, Tahi. But I'm busy eating. You get it off, you get it off.
Rob's busy eating. He's in the Pringles. He loves them. I've got here Ben and Max. It's fantastic. Ben is a Kevin Costner lookalike. Here he is, Ben. Fantastic. Tell us, haven't some of you come to Kings games before?
So this is my first game this season actually, so I'm pretty stoked to be here. We normally get a couple of games this season.
It was a last minute decision to come here. You were all the way on the top there.
Yeah, these are the best seats in the house, so no matter where we were.
Max, what about you? How excited you are? This is, you can tell all your friends about this shortly.
Yeah, this is crazy. I've got my friends in the audience and my sister in the wherever she is. But yeah.
She's in the top deck. That's where she is, Max. Not at the Pringles Crunch Crowd. Look at the Pringles. We've got some drinks for them. We've got some ice cream for them. It's fantastic. So every game, 2 people will get a chance to win their seat upgrade to the Pringles Crunch Couch, or you can celebrate. And they'll be taking Pringles home to the law. They'll be taking everything away with them. So this is your chance. Thanks to Pringles Crunch Couch.
All right, it's time to find out which side you vote for in the DJ competition. The winning track is Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Let's listen to it. Thanks to DJ Fully Sick.
Hey! No!
Hey, we're 5 on D. Do not be lackadaisical.
Yeah, come on,
on
switch. Help each other, rotate. Do, flare. Hey! I was just saying, that's okay. I did grab him, but he's running through my chest every possession, so I have to brace myself.
Our Harvey Norman in the zone participant is Kyle Adnam. 8 points in the first half, 3 assists. It goes without saying that missing Taron Armstrong, missing Tanner Groves, the Snakes need a big second half from the experienced Kyle Adnam.
Well, he's out there and he's going to have to lead them on the offensive end. I didn't think they were that good in the first half on the offensive end, really stymied by that Sydney defense, and Xavier Cooks got the Kings off to a nice start in that first half, Brad.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then when you're playing defense like the Kings have played, then they can push the ball, and that's where they look good in transition. They're shooting just under 50 or just over 54%, I'm sorry, and that's able them to be able to get this nice lead. Can they go on with it? That's the challenge.
The Kings by 14, their biggest lead of the game, which they've had twice at 28-14, and the current score 53-39, having led 12-zip early. Edwards off the mark to start the second half. It's fixed up by AK Gack. Robertson to Cooks, who sits on 10 points, 8 rebounds, set for yet another double-double against the Taipans. Lau Pepe, shot short, Tui couldn't win the rebound, but Cooks gets his hand to the ball. Tyler Robertson, cross court, Alex Tui left alone, shot short. And Rob Edwards had it. Big Sydney crowd willing the Kings on to open their home accounts in NBL25. Sam Wardenberg explores, he's forced backwards, the turnaround misses.
Need more ball movement on that end.
Yep. Tyler Robertson called into the starting team for the first time this season in the absence of Jalen Adams out with that back problem. Edwards stalking the Kings. Bradshaw off the mark. Jonah Antonio.
Brad, a lot of same side action. The ball needs to get across split line. Get this Kings defense to try and, wow.
Defense from Cooks. Popped a bump in the back from AK as well. No whistle. Kelly Leaupepe. 6 points for Kelly so far. Tyler Robertson.
Well, Brad, as I was saying on the other end, you got to get the Kings defense to shift from side to side and make guys make good decisions on the defensive end. The more decisions a defender has to make, the increase in likelihood that they make an error.
And this is something a lot of teams do wrong, Derek, and I'm with you, that they pound the ball. Too much dribbling, and it's that one out. Let the ball get the swing from side to side. Make your defenders have to swing, is what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. It's so different.
Our boy Andrew Gaze is somewhere clapping his hands.
Well, you look at that last possession now. I'm a fan of Rob Edwards, but right now, I think you're over-dribbling, right? Let the ball go and get an on-ball pick or get something, move off the ball, then get it back and go.
Drury clapping his hands as he prepares for the next game. A beauty, Melbourne United against Adelaide. Can the 36ers build on what they did against Sydney on Friday night? That's up next.
Smooth, Matty.
Here's Bull Kowal. Lupepe gets the rebound second time around. Dewey works the screen provided by Cooks and drops two more.
Well, I feel both teams have come out a little bit flat, and the Kings just keep pounding that offensive glass and getting a couple of others, and that allowed them to get that second shot.
Derek, how long would you wait until you go back to Sean Bruce, who led all scorers in the first half, 18 on 5 of 5 from three-point land?
Well, Robertson's had a couple of good looks in this third quarter, hasn't knocked him down yet, so I'll probably give him another couple of minutes to show me something.
Those 5 made threes from Sean equals his career high, and it's been a long career. He's done it twice previously.
Derek,
for Cairns against Sydney, Brad.
With Jalen Adams being out, would have you started in that second half?
No, I would say keep it as it is. Yep. This rotation's working fine, and you need that punch off the bench if Bradshaw gets caught up in the air. He's been disappointing offensively today.
Bull Kowal.
You got to get that guy off the glass. That's 5 offensive rebounds already as he attacks the closeout. 6 offensive rebounds, Matty.
Matty, don't you love how he says you've got to get him off the glass? There's no way any of us could do it, but it'd be nice to do it.
If I put him on halfway and said you've got to run through Derek Rucker to get 100 grand at the other end of the court, do you reckon you stop him, D-Ruck?
He'd say I'd do it for 100 grand.
Bradshaw.
He doesn't need the 100 grand. I'll do it for free.
And the sternum automatically turns to powder. Kyle Adams looks at us, tells us that he'll be checking into the game.
Too easy. Too easy. And you said it earlier, Derek. That's what makes Cookie so good. Just being able to get the ball, little hesitation here on the step, and you can just see him be able to put his man on ice and go, which way am I going? And he draws the foul number 1 and makes it a 3-point play.
It's an important bucket from Pedro Bradshaw just to steady things a little for Cairns, but then in the blink of an eye, they've given up soft points at the other end. Xavier Cooks, good at the line. First half rebounding, 22-14 in favour of Sydney. It's an area where Cairns needed to improve post-half time, but we haven't seen any of that. Sean Bruce back out there. Bradshaw again. Wardenberg thought about passing. But he chose to shoot in the end, say Taipans fans.
And that was more assertive by Bradshaw on the penetration, leading to that Wardenberg 3-ball.
Sydney lead the league. The second chance points, they also dominated in that regard first half. It's been a feature again to start the second half. So more fight required from the Taipans on the boards.
Both teams are shooting the ball well from the three-point line. The Kings 8 of 21 at 38%. Taipans 9 of 23 for 39%. If you did that on a regular basis, you'd be 1 and 2 in the competition.
Alex Tui tucks the backboard, misses the mark. And the Taipans get a stop. Adnan from the corner. Rebound taken by Kual. The ball movement here by Sydney with Laupepe waiting down low. Bruce sits it up. Go! Cameron Oliver! A beautiful assist, but what about the authority in the finish? Kudos Bank Arena shakes, and Rob Edwards just settles it down for the Taipans. (62-51). Paul Kual lost the ball, but so did Adnan.
Well, Sean Bruce is just having a party today. Hits his 5 threes, then he comes off this, throws it up. Cam Oliver says hello and throws it down. Look at that, Sean Bruce, beautiful, puts it on a dime, and Cam Oliver says yes to Sydney. Great pass.
That looked fantastic on the Amy replay. We'll see that again and again. Sean Bruce having quite the game. Clock expires. And Oliver took his eye off the ball, so to speak. Ran out of time.
And Sean Bruce accepts responsibility for that shot clock violation. Borgen just waiting for his team to get a little bit more separation with this margin.
Come up empty at the offensive end again, the Taipans. Alex Tui showing us his athleticism with a finger roll finish and the +1.
We know Tui in the open court. We've seen it many times. He can hit you with all types of action. Here it's right to left with the Euro. Little jelly finish, draws the contact, and one.
Looking at their 2 and 3.
They have some exciting pieces, don't they, Sydney?
They do, and that is why he is climbing up that draft. They're able to finish on the break. That man there is working hard with Tui, getting his shot to go, rebounding the whole package. Up to 10 points now, 4 of 7 from the field, plus 15 for the game.
Kyle Adnan goes to work, runs hard into Tui, jump ball.
And a nice defensive possession right there. We saw Tui at a similar moment last season get matched up with some smaller guards and struggle. So it's good to see him keep the ball in front of him, hips down, and then use his height and size at the right moment.
It's a good pickup because I think he's quicker. To me, he feels quicker getting up and down the court, which means he can move his feet quicker when he's defending.
Ooh. Brad, prediction time after this from Alex Tui, who sets the question up perfectly. By the end of the season, is he a potential first-round draft pick, NBA 25?
Well, if he's going to be doing that with his footwork, I have absolutely no doubt.
Comes down, walks him down, hits him with an in and out, a little stall dribble, jab footwork, and once he gets to the rim, there's no younger player in the world that knows what to do with it like Alex Tui.
20 years young from Canberra. 201 centimetres or 6'7" in the old scale, and a frame not to be messed with at 103 kgs, Derek Rucker. But he moves it as if it's 80 kilograms.
He's been a valuable addition to the Next Stars program. And the most important thing for him is to continue to show maturity. We see the athleticism and the body is developing. The three-point shot, can he handle it? He's starting to show all those things are coming together within the framework of a winning team.
Well, I just agree with you, Derek. You know, last year, just under 8 points for the season. This year, over 10 points. Shooting 46%, 39 or 37% compared to 24% last year from the three-point line. Every part of his game has improved.
Came through the Centre of Excellence, the NBA Global Academy, outstanding in NBL1. Said no to Gonzaga. I want to be in the Next Stars program. His rookie season strong, and he's looking to go on with it. Alex Tui. Got through 29 games in his rookie season. The numbers outlined by Brad there in that first season in the NBL. 67-51, the Kings out by 16. Now, a couple of times they've been ahead by double figures and threatening to blow the game open. Is that where they go from here?
Well, we mentioned at halftime last week up in Brisbane, they had a chance to put a 35, 40-point margin on Brisbane. Instead, they fell asleep and only wind up winning that game by 9.
Air ball from Stein.
And in a league, Brad, where it's so difficult to win games, at some point you need to beat teams not only on the scoreboard, but you need to inflict some psychological damage. What number would be good for a margin today to get that done?
Well, the way they've played and the way they're at now, you want that to be 25-30. That's something I was so impressed with Illawarra last night, where they could have let the foot off, and he's misses for 3 here. They could have left the foot off and got that 20-25. They were like, no, we're not stopping, and they were able to get that out to 30 plus. That's what the Kings need to do to this undermanned Cairns Taipans.
33-point win, the Jack Jumpers' heaviest defeat inflicted by the Hawks last night, who have a few gears in NBL 25. Cam Oliver. Which is only iron. 2.5 left in the third. Still Sydney by 16, Wardenberg.
Well, he's been tough. Yeah, he's been tough. That's his 15th point. He's keeping this team afloat. 5-11 from the field, 2 3-pointers to go with that. Playing a good game to go with his 7 rebounds.
Alternatively, Derek, what do the Taipans want to get this back to heading into the fourth? Bruce, another one. Now it's a career high 6 made threes. And he equals his career high 21 points.
An outstanding input off the bench. Get back to your question as Wardenberg attacks, gets the foul. Look at this replay. Sean Bruce is lining him up. Great play there from Liapa, getting the ball to him on time, on target. And the way Bruce is shooting right now, that's got a big-time chance of going in. But for the Taipans, you just want to try and maintain a standard of play. If you're being realistic, it's going to take a miracle to get out of here with this victory, but let's get it down within 10, 9 at some point in the fourth quarter, Brad, and then roll the dice and really go for it.
Well, you mentioned last week, Derek, 27-16, the Brisbane Bullets outscored the Sydney Kings, and that is something that will be in the back of mind of Adam Ford.
And Brad, it was the final 16 of the game, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
16-0 run in there that really made that game look a lot more competitive.
Cam Oliver. Now he finds the bottom of the net and says, hallelujah, finally. Cam Oliver didn't score in the first half, unbelievably. Sean Bruce had 18 to halftime, Cam Oliver nil. What price would you have got for that pre-tip? There's Sean Bruce averaging less than 2 points per season. He'd made, or per game this season, he'd made just the 2 threes across his opening 5 games. But what about this performance from the Kings veteran? That not his finest possession. Jonah Antonio lets it fly. Wardenberg loses the ball. Cooks comes away with it. Bruce cleans up. 3-on-1. Galloway finishes. The Kings by 20.
And right now, the defensive pressure and the length and the athleticism of the Kings is just swallowing the Taipans whole.
Wardenberg. The 2 will count. He'll go to the line.
Well, he looks exhausted out there, Wardenberg. Man, he's playing well. he is playing hard. He's really the only offensive threat that Cairns have right now.
Foul called on Jalen Galloway.
Well, Rob Edwards, with those 3 fouls, he's not going to make an appearance back in this game probably till the start of the 4th quarter. So it's really on Wardenberg to try and keep the scoreboard ticking over. Bradshaw probably just not aggressive enough. And right now, points are really hard to come by.
Wardenberg misses the gimme. Oliver, the rebound. So Sydney can go beyond 20 points to the good here with a 3-point play. Isaiah Liafa outside. Jalen Galloway. The foul will be called on Cairns.
Well, Xavier Cook's just doing Xavier Cook's things. Just crashes the glass, being a pest in there, always trying to get to the tip it out to his man, grabs it, whatever he can. Great effort to give his team another possession. Watch out for the lob here to Cam Oliver.
Lob for Galloway.
Thought they were going to set the screen there, but they went with the sneaky backdoor quick one.
Well, it's a smart play, and you read it correctly. That's what they were set up for, what you described. And then they realized Galloway's defender was sleeping. Just throw it up to the athletic Galloway, see what he can do with it.
Looks like it's going to be back to earth with a thud for the Taipans. Last round, they beat last season's grand finalists in consecutive games, the Jack Jumpers and Melbourne United, who we'll see next. But after going win-win in round 3, a loss against Perth, and they're staring at a heavy defeat in Sydney. Even though their coach isn't using them, there are the excuses with some reinforcements inbound once Taron Armstrong clears his ankle injury, once Tanner Groves gets over his calf complaint, both expected back in coming weeks.
Watch your back, KG! Hey, settle! Yo, we got a good one. Have we called something or no? No. Hey, same thing. Next one down, we got a 3 for Jonah. Hey, if you don't have the shot, come back, hand off with me. Yeah, cool. Yep.
Al Harvey Norman in the zone with Kyle Adnan. He and his Taipans teammates need to get in the zone. They're down by 19, heading into the fourth, facing a big defeat here in Sydney at a venue which has been their kryptonite. Bradshaw can't open the scoring. The rebound falls for Xavier Cooks. Now Cooks loses it. It's a lottery in the air, retrieved by Xavier Cooks. Good theatre around that play. Now Tui striding his way to the backboard. No score. Sloppy start at the final quarter. Antonio caught the arm of Xavier Cooks. One-on-one with Wardenberg, and Cooks plays it cool. He goes to 15 points for the game, add 10 rebounds. It's another double-double against the Taipans at Kudos Bank Arena. His last 5 games against the Taipans here, he's averaged 19 points, 11 rebounds. 19 and 11. And he's maintained the theme this afternoon. The rebound for Lea Pepe. Joe Healy courtside.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Was just listening to the Kings at three-quarter time. They're very encouraging, as you can imagine, with this big lead heading into the fourth. Brian Goorjian just said defensively, we've got to keep communicating. He pointed out Kelly Lepepe and said fantastic work on the boards. But he said there's no letting up here, guys. Despite the lead, they want to win this quarter. It's important.
Well, that's a great point, Joe, and that's exactly what they need to do. You look at them, we spoke about it, Derek, last week they went down 27-16 to Brisbane, and that just wasn't good enough. And like you said, the last 16 points in Cairns the other night against Perth won that quarter 20-15. So that should give them some energy coming into this, but right now look like they're a little bit flat.
Won all 3 quarters so far by 10, by 4, by 5, and the points keep coming from Xavier Cooks. He's enjoying himself,
Now 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 dimes, 3 steals. Another outstanding all-around performance, and the Kings are really, really clamping down on the Taipans.
Well, he has been a bit crook, so you wonder how long does Gorge stay with him, being up what they are.
Behind, 34.
He looked discomforted against Adelaide, out of sorts, but assured the Kings very early on that he was much better and ready to play today. Timeout called by the Taipans. Brian Goorjian assesses the scoreboard, and his assessment will be good. It's the Kings 81, Cairns 57. So it's all about preparing for coming weeks now for the Taipans. Want to salvage something here. At least they can find some form, some rhythm, get some players into shooting form.
Yeah, look, I mean, look, everyone knows, and Coach Ford said it the other night, I don't care who's playing, we've got to be this, but it catches up eventually, right, Derek? I mean, when you look at what Taram Armstrong did last weekend, you know, he's not in this game. It hurts eventually.
It does, and some clubs can get away with that type of loss and cover for it and still maintain a nice competitive standard. Right now, at this stage, it's evident that the Taipans are not one of those clubs. Now, how long will they be without Armstrong? That remains to be seen. But if it's going to be an extended period of time, meaning a few more weeks, they need to get to the drawing board this week and figure out how they can lift their performances.
The Kings by 24. Do they power on and win this one by more than 30 points? That's the challenge from Brian Goorjian. We saw the Hawks do a job on the Jack Jumpers last night, winning by 33. Can the Kings top that? Turnover, Taipans, Robertson off to the races. And with a winning ticket at the finish line. And Rob Edwards, he's had a tough afternoon.
Great defense there. That was outstanding defense. Made him have to jump, put it in the left hand, and couldn't even get the ring.
Lani Swaka Labullock with a fantastic defensive display for the Hawks. last night. Here's Alex Tui. He doesn't stop scoring. But it is the Kings' turn to defence. Who have been the leaders defensively for the men in purple?
Well, I think Bull Quall's done an outstanding job. He's held Rob Edwards to 2 for 12 as Wardenberg gets to the rack and throws one down. But Bull Quall can take a lot of credit for igniting this Kings defense and limiting the Taipans' most dangerous offensive player to only 5 points.
And conversely, it's been too easy at times for Sydney at the offensive end. Case in point, Kelly Laupepe scoring comfortably right there. Up to 8 points for the game to go with 10 rebounds. So Kelly Laupepe on track for back-to-back double-doubles.
And Wardenberg now with 22. He can come out of this game very confident.
Oliver runs into AK Gat standing his ground. There is the double-double for Kelly Laupepe. 10 points. 6 offensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds. So 6 at the offensive end for Laupepe. Wardenberg short this time. The Kings by 28.
And I like this from Robertson. Don't get caught up in the emotion of this blowout. Continue to execute offense and build some discipline on that end. Good offense from the Kings.
Final game of round 4 coming up next. Melbourne up against Adelaide. We look forward to that one to wrap up the round, but there'll be plenty of talking points out of this game, Brad Rose.
Yeah, Derek, I wanted to ask you now. I watched the other night and I saw what the Kings were able to do. And Cam Oliver, I thought, did a really good job, even in that loss against Adelaide in that third quarter, where he was able to get down low and get his back to the basket and do some turnaround moves inside. I don't see that as much this year from the Kings, and I'm wondering, is that something that they need to bring into their game? Because at the moment, it's push, it's a layup, or it's a 3.
So you're specifically pointing in the half court. Can you get him some face-ups just off the block where he can utilize his quickness, similar to what we see Montrezl Harrell doing down in Adelaide, and getting on the rim, and Isaac.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very good point. It's just a matter of whether you have the discipline and all the talent, especially when Jalen comes back. Are they going to be patient enough within the offensive structure to get him those touches where he needs the ball?
And I think it's great as another turnover happens. I think it's great because you look at this, and the Kings will get win with sheer talent. But I'm talking game 5 in a series, get through a semis, get through a grand final. What's going to get you there? Now, you look at Tasmania last year, sets, run great sets and get good shots. The run and gun, I don't know.
Big moment for Cairns and young Alex Higgins-Titcher making his NBL debut, the development player off the bench late or midway through this fourth quarter. Dufamai will join him. So Adam Ford giving the youngsters a run. Here he is. Maybe his first points in the NBL.
Well
Congratulations, Alex Higgins-Titcher. Nice moment for the Taipans in an otherwise tough afternoon. Here's Quatnoy. And now, Higgins-Titcher gets a block, forces the turnover. After a nervous moment originally. A couple of nice plays.
Derek, we talk how stacked the Kings are. This is the first minutes for Quatnoy tonight, right? So it's nothing against his game. Where do you fit him into that situation? Because they're so stacked, and when Sean's playing like he is, and that guy's doing the defense, and everyone's doing Galloway, it's tough to fit him in.
Well, he's not a high rotation player in my view, Brad, but there will come a moment where he will need to have an impact in this Kings season, and he must keep himself ready, must stay fit. The roles change from year to year, and he's probably going to be one of the prime examples in this Kings lineup. That type of action right there will not make Brian Goorjian happy.
And that's the one thing with Goorjian. You know, I got to sit next to him for a few years and watch him so closely. He is watching every possession. Right. So even though they're up by, you know, what is the 30-point game right now, what do you bring? Because it's the next game, and it's the next game after that. What are you going to bring to me and give me
that I don't have already.
And it's corny to discuss this, Matt, but defense in the NBL significantly impacts whether or not you can win championships. And Gorgon will be looking at who can I trust on the defensive end in critical games.
The last 4 minutes here. The eyes of the coaches still plenty to play for.
Teacher's getting it in his minutes here. A couple of block shots, a bucket.
Jackson McCoy out there as well, so
looks very comfortable, doesn't he?
Higgins Titcher, followed by Dufelmeyer. Now Jackson McCoy. Familiar name to Kings fans here in the Harbour City. Noy getting some late game time. Plenty of attention on Brian Gorgon's rotations in the early games. He used 10 players through the first 3 quarters today, and now Noy becomes the 11th. Titcher thought about the 3, and he forces the foul on Galloway. I heard a voice of the Hawks say that's a real balance between having too many rotations, but also putting time into your players to keep them on board, engaged, and have them right when injury does bite. Or if you do need them to replace players because of a form slump at some stage during a long season. So
yeah,
that was
Matty,
the trade-off.
And I agree with you, but you just got to be professional and be ready. And as Derek's talking about Noy, I don't know when your time's going to come, but you better be ready because Gorge is watching.
Well, if I'm counting the numbers in the Kings backcourt as Leafa lets one fire, and I'm about to address him and Sean Bruce, the reality is both of those probably can't play extended minutes off the bench. It's kind of one or the other per game, Brad.
Yep.
Taipans through Bradshaw, forced the foul on Sydney. The story out of this will be Sean Bruce, the most experienced current King, having a career high equaling to this point 21 points, but a career high 6 made threes at 6 of 6 shooting outside.
And Matty, he did that in only 15 minutes, which yielded him a plus 18. And I mean, I'm not going out on a limb here to say he's probably going to be our player of the game. And the Kings needed a performance like this today. It's still early in the season, but expectations, hopes, optimism, you want those to continue to build as this season goes along.
I agree with you. And right now, you look at the player of the game. Is it him or is it Xavier? 21 points, 10 rebounds. I thought they've both been outstanding.
Spurgeon, another development player to see court time with the game blown out. Noy, look at that originally, but he's off the mark. They get another rebound.
Oh, for bench players, best couple of minutes you can have. Best couple of minutes you can have. Just get the shots up.
Spurgeon strong.
Noy
likes that.
Noy treating this late fourth quarter, Matty, like it's his personal shoot-around.
Malawatch for the Kings. They put Sean Bruce back out there and say, go after D-Ruck's 11 made threes when he had his career high 51.
That wasn't against us, was it? No. Oh, thank God.
Against Brisbane, he's playing for Townsville.
11 of 15.
Did you hear that? He knew straight away. What date, Derek? You know the date too, don't you?
Leave me alone. I'm trying to watch the game, Brad.
He knows the date.
Isaiah Leafa ended his drought at 3-point shooting earlier in the game. Malawatch was back in defense, but the Kings have won the ball. Have the Taipans checked out. Spurgeon's air ball. Game replay here.
Nice finish, right?
He was good the other night too. When he came on, he could just put points on the board.
Higgins Titcher. Hand off Bradshaw. He forces the foul on the Kings, drops the 2, go to the line. Too little, too late for a team down 96-69. He kept to a very modest total, and the Kings could crack 3 figures in the final 67 seconds.
And there was a stretch, a point in this game where the Taipans were shooting the ball really well from the 3-point line, around that 40% mark. They were 9 of about 21. Since that time, they've gone 1 of 12 from the 3 as the Kings put a lot of pressure on the three-point line and effectively blown these guys out.
Botnoy, his scoop shot found the hand of Higgins-Titcher, who's provided some good minutes. Prominent plays indeed. Now Bradshaw explodes to the backboard.
Well, some interesting games coming up for both of these teams. Obviously, Kings go to Tasmania on Friday night in a tough one because Tasmania are going to want to bounce back after that, and it doesn't get any easier for Cairns. They've got Illawarra at home. That's in Cairns, I should say, at their home.
Saturday night. The Arthur, Botnoy needs no invitation to shoot and says to the bench, there you go, coach. How about those three? He makes his first at his third attempt.
No shot,
And here Brian Goorjian in the background, riding his team through every second. Time expires, and it's the Sydney Kings, winners at Kudos Bank Arena for the first time in Hungry Jack's NBL25. They've taken down the Cairns Taipans, undermanned and exposed badly, 99-73. Sean Bruce take a bow, 21 points, 6 of 6 made threes. They shot to a 12-0 lead and didn't look back.
A clinical, professional performance initiated by outstanding defense from the Sydney Kings. They got a boost from Sean Bruce off the bench. Xavier Cooks did his superstar type stuff. Brad, excellent contribution from Alex Toohey. A defensive performance that Brian Goorjian will be very pleased with.
100%. 73 points is exactly what they would ask for. But more importantly, when the time came they need to put their foot down, they did it and got away with a great win.
Xavier Cooks, as I mentioned, averages a big double-double against the Taipans on this floor over his last 5 games against the Snakes here. Well, he's doubled down, backed it up, because his numbers today, 18 points on 7 of 11 from the field, throw in 13 rebounds. And it's quite the performance from our footlocker player of the game, Xavier Cooks. He'll be a main man for the Kings this year. He's standing by with Joe.
Yeah, thanks. I've got the footlocker player of the game, Xavier Cooks, with me. Xavier, 18-10-4, and your first win at home. How does that feel?
Yeah, it was a great team win. I think the boys really responded well from last game. Our defensive intensity was a lot higher. We shared the ball a lot better, so yeah, it was a good game.
What does this win say about this team?
What does this win say? There's probably a lot more to come, I hope.
And what about Brucey, 6 of 6 from deep? What a performance.
I mean, that speaks volumes for Brucey. He hasn't been shooting the ball great all year. To come back like that and respond, he's a huge piece of our team, and I'm really happy for him.
Go and enjoy this win.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Xavier Cooks, outstanding in this game. And Brad, one of the benefits of having Xavier Cooks on your team is he is such a low maintenance player on the offensive end, meaning he doesn't detract, he doesn't take a lot of unnecessary shots. You don't have to run system for him. He just makes plays off of effort, reading the game, and he's so efficient in this game. He finishes 7 of 11 from the field, including 2 of 2 from the three-point line.
Couldn't agree more, and the best way to sum him up is he doesn't need the ball in his hand to make impact, and that's what you want when players, especially in a team like this that is so stacked.
Coming into today, he'd made 3 of 12 shots from the field, including only 2 of 10 from outside. Well, he stuck his hand in the microwave and said, heat it up, baby. Today I'm dropping 6 from 6, Joe.
He certainly did, Sean Bruce, a career high and the win at home. Talk me through that.
Yeah, the win was amazing. We need to respond from Friday, and we're still building, but felt good to get a win in front of these great fans.
What was the difference in the way that you approached this one, given that loss on Friday?
Yeah, just consistency with our defense. Being able to get stops, we can give it to Zave, and he can get downhill and makes life easy for a lot of us.
A lot of the younger guys stepped up as well today. Can you just speak to how they're going out there? Robbo with the start, with JA's absence?
Yeah, no, he's been great last 3 games. But Tui, all the guys, Spurge getting in at the end, doing his thing too. It's good to see.
Go and enjoy that, and give him a high five for that block at the end too.
Well, there he is, Sean Bruce. What a game he had. hitting the threes that really kept them going in the first half. The Kings were up and down, came out well. Then they went through a little bit of a flat spot, and this man came in, hit the first one. Now the thing's rolling, and he's knocking down threes. And you look at what he said when he spoke to Joe there, where he's like, I can give it to X, and then you talk to X, and X was turning around and saying, I'm so happy for Sean Bruce. He's loved here, he's playing great basketball, and it's really good to see him having those points, Derek.
One of the most fearless players in our competition. He's a big shot taker, doesn't shy away from any plays on the court, is not afraid of any opponent, will stick his chest out and challenge you. But then when he comes in and provides this type of spark off the Kings bench, that is invaluable, Matty.
Great scenes here. Sean Bruce enjoying the occasion, enjoying the game, defying his shooting stats early in the season. But Kelly Leao Pepe has shown us what he's capable of, with much more to come, no doubt. So back-to-back doubles now from the muscle at the Sydney Kings.
Well, you get two guys with double-doubles on your front line, Matty, and that's really hard to defeat. And remember, they've got Jalen Adams to come back in this lineup in some time. But Brad, the beauty of getting games and victories like this dominantly is that you take pressure off of Adams to feel like he needs to rush back into the lineup. He can fully heal and work his way back in instead of coming back at less than well-being.
Yeah, great pickup. And you look at the first couple of wins the Kings had, it was on the back of Jalen Adams. But this guy since then has really been able to be good. He was outstanding on Friday night, unfortunately in the loss if you're a Kings fan. But tonight, look at that, double-double. I mean, this guy is a rookie. He's 5 games into his pro career, and he is looking outstanding out there. And I keep saying it when I speak to Gorge and I speak to Billy Tomlinson, he is giving them 100% more than they could ever expect it at this stage.
I go back to an interview I heard with Kelly speaking to Ariana Prather, Derek, you remembered it as well, where he said, without any fear, without any doubt, I want to be a beast in this league. And he's stepping in that direction.
Well, he's probably watched the league for years and realizes this is a space where he plays a rough, rugged, undersized 4, sometimes the 5, a place where he can really excel and carve out his own little niche. There's no one like him in the competition, Brad. Not only that, he's extremely marketable.
Look, I completely agree with you, and I got to play with a guy called Bruce Bolden. You had other guys, set screens, rebounds, does those little things that you're able to do. Unbelievable teammates, and everyone needs one.
Let's hear from the man himself. Joe, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. The guys have just been singing your praises in commentary. What does it feel like to get your first win on the home court here?
Oh, it feels great. I'm so happy we finally got a win here. We wanted to get it last week, but yeah, it's good.
Talk me through that performance. Obviously, you know, you guys are stacked this season. You've had some ups and downs with the rotations, getting it right. It feels like you got it right today, though.
Yeah, we're just locking in on defense, like 1 through 5, making sure we're communicating and all that, and the offense just took care of itself.
Feels like you're already a fan favourite here. A lot of people coming out to see you. What's it like playing in front of them?
Oh, no, it's great. I love Sydney. I love the fans. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Well, we're loving seeing you out there. Go and enjoy this one with the team.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations, Kelly. Good on you, Joe. Derek, Brad, great to work with you again. Thanks to the team behind the scenes as well. We still have Melbourne against Adelaide to come, but after this break, Joe and the men will wrap up this game. A big win for the Kings, a problem for the Taipans as injuries cripple the Snakes. It's 99-73, Sydney over Cairns.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL, a dominant performance by the Sydney Kings, 26-point winners over the Cairns Taipans here at Kudos Bank Arena, and didn't the players absolutely love it? Joe Healy alongside former Kings captain Brad Rosen and former league MVP Derek Rucker. Guys, that was formidable by the Kings, was it not?
It was, and it's exactly what they needed after last Friday night against Adelaide. You look at there and you can see the 99-73, but it's across the board. The rebounds, that's massive. 17 difference in there. Field goal percentage, 3-point free throws, everything along the game. But Derek, the one thing that just stands out, and we kept saying it, they had the chance to win and they could have won that by 5 and 10 and kept it close, but they didn't. They put their foot down and they said, no, we're going to stamp the authority and get away with this win. We don't care who the opposition is.
It's exactly what they needed at the perfect time. Without Jalen Adams in the lineup, this team needed to build some confidence in one another. And more importantly, in front of this home crowd who continue to support them in throws here. They keep coming out. It was a fantastic victory. And Joe, this is the type of victory that sends a message to the rest of the league. When you come in here, you better be ready to go.
It's one that they'll be very happy with, that's for sure, especially given their prospects to start the season, and a former league MVP here, Xavier Cooks. He was dominant across the board tonight.
He was, and this is probably going to be a very silly comment that I say, but I don't think he gets him close to his best yet. And he's still performing at double-double literally every night he steps on the court. And Derek, you were just saying before, he just gives so much, doesn't need the ball in his hand the way he's been able to go. But I think he's got so much more. There's no doubt, and you don't want to go back too much, but that would have been a kick in the guts not making the Boomers, right? So he's had to come back from that. He's been able to step through that, forget about it. You look at the blackboard shot chart, and that, you cannot ask any more from a guy who was under the weather, let's remind everyone this week.
And that shot chart looks fantastic, but it doesn't encapsulate the full picture. The tap-out rebounds, the good passes, the running the offense, all the things that he provides that don't show up on the stat sheet, all those intangibles, and the fact that he's got that high motor and he's a high-character person and player, that adds so much to this Sydney Kings franchise, who is in pursuit, not just of getting to the playoffs, they're trying to get a championship.
Yeah, great win for the Sydney Kings. A tough afternoon, though, for the Cairns Taipans. Rob Edwards wasn't able to really find his rhythm, but Sam Warnerberg, who's someone who, from an individual point of view, is having a great season.
Yeah, you're right. We did say before the game, Rob Edwards is going to have a massive game to get this win, and he didn't. But this man, you cannot fault him whatsoever. Came in here, he's got a great high arc of a shot, pretty much unblockable the way he shoots. But on the defensive end, he was tough as well. I thought he was great tonight, made great decisions, but unfortunately, Derek, he was the Lone Ranger. No one else came ready.
Well, he came in here with a professional mindset. He needs to score the basketball on a consistent basis, and he did that today. So the Taipans can go back feeling good about what he did. He had the 22 points, shot the ball well enough from the three-point line, but I thought he was active. And look, he is a young professional, still trying to figure out the game, still trying to work out the nuances of the NBL, but he's trending the right direction.
So a big afternoon on the floor, but there's been plenty of drama off it as well. Guys, this morning, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix released a statement saying that they were parting ways with their head coach, Mike Kelly. What have you made of this? They're 0-5 to start the season, maybe not so much of a shock?
No, not a shock at all, and I thought Derek racked it up earlier when we spoke about it, just saying professional coaching, it's all about wins, and that's as simple as it is. And when you go here, you're 0-5, and unfortunately, there was a lot of losses last year, and they were sitting on the bottom of the ladder. They retooled, they've got a number of players there, and nothing's changed in the sense of the win-loss column. So they had to make a move, they've done the right thing, and now we'll see if this makes the change what they need.
And we look at the quote, the statement that Mike Kelly released, and look, I give full credit to him for being a stand-up guy here and trying to take the right approach. The last sentence, I truly believe in the playing group and wish them all the best moving forward. He's a better man than me, because right now, Joe, I'd be like, I hope y'all lose every game. You just fired me. I don't care how well y'all do. I hope y'all drop them all.
One thing that certainly stands out about Mike Kelly from everyone that you speak to is that he is an outstanding human being. So we wish him all the best in the future. As for the Phoenix, what happens now if you're Tommy Greer? What are you doing finding a replacement?
Well, they've put Sam McKinnon in as the interim coach. Now the question is he going to see out the season and which way they're going to go? For me, I'm like, you want a guy that you're going to look over for the next 3 seasons. Let's just not go for this season because you don't want to just... You look at what Illawarra did last year. It's only 5 games, right? You can make a run for this playoff. As crazy as that sounds, you get rolling. All you got to do is sneak in that 6 and anything's possible. So right now, I'm saying I want someone that we know is going to take you to the next 1, 2, and 3 years and build with a team that they've got a lot of guys under contract for a few seasons. So that's the challenge for Tommy Greer and that club right now.
Derek, if you put your CEO hat on, what are you doing?
Well, I think, firstly, whichever coach you go with, so right now Sam McKinnon is the guy. We need to have a conversation about the playing group. We've got to get some alignment and some regularity in the rotations. I've got some questions about guys that they're playing. Look, it's in hindsight now, but I didn't like the fact that they didn't start Nathan Sobey last night. Given the context, you know Sobey's playing against his former team. With all the drama that had been encircling that situation, I thought that was a bad move. But going forward now, you've got to figure out a good starting 5, go with it, and say, only 3 more guys are playing after that. These are the 8 guys we're going with. Unless circumstances become a bit strange, nobody else is really going to play. That's it. We've got to figure out 8 guys and get wins that way. Everybody else, fit in where you can.
Right, gentlemen, I am rushing home from Kudos Bank Arena right now because Melbourne United are hosting the Adelaide 36ers next. Who wins and why?
I'm going with Adelaide still. I think the 4, the way they're playing, have been outstanding. We've seen it in the last few games. That man on picture, he's been great, and since he's been starting to get the ball, Trez fits in really well. DJ is playing unbelievable basketball, and I love what they're able to bring this team.
This is such a tough prediction, right? Because we saw Adelaide have a great victory in one of the biggest games of the season down in Illawarra. But this is a professional championship outfit.
He's sitting on the fence.
Hey, no, I'm not sitting on the fence. Let me finish my comment. I gave you your time. I'm going for Melbourne United to win by 5.
All right, you heard it here first. We cannot wait for that one. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL.